Hi, my name is David Kramer, and my topic is social networking. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, but you don't have to answer out loud. Have you ever been filling out information for Facebook or MySpace or Twitter, and you wonder why you need to fill out, say, where your hometown is or what high school you went to? Or have you ever been harassed online through AOL or MySpace, Facebook, whatever? It's because of these points I would like to argue that social networking sites create a substantial harm to their users. My three secondary claims are that social networking sites facilitate cyberbullying, that social networking sites are a threat to privacy, and also that these sites are also a threat to safety. Back to my secondary claim one, that social networking sites facilitate cyberbullying. In February of 2010, from a sample of 4,441 students aged 10 to 18 in 7 states, 17% have been cyberbullied one more times in that past month. That means 1 in 5 kids have been bullied in just the past month. And that comes from cyberbullying, www.cyberbullying.us. In 2006, Megan Meyer, I'm sure many of you have heard this story, but Megan Meyer committed suicide, and the reasoning was being bullied online. She entered a purely online relationship with a man named Josh Evans, who was made up by a mother of a former friend of Megan, so she could find out information about why Megan wasn't friends with her daughter anymore. After the breakup, she sent distasteful messages and hurtful messages that caused Megan to want to kill herself. And then recently, in September of 2010, a boy named Tyler Clementi, who was our age in college, asked his roommate to use the room for the night, as some of you might have done before. But his roommate then set up a webcam to spy on him and found out, and the webcam showed him making out with another guy. The roommate then put this on Twitter saying, "My roommate's making out with another guy," and then sent that video to Facebook. And once Tyler saw that video on Facebook and realized it was him, he announced his suicide on Facebook and killed himself. Cyberbullying happens all the time, and for some it is worse than others, but it leaves a mark on everybody it touches. This brings me into my next claim, number 2, that social networking sites are a threat to privacy. When you become friends with people you don't know on any of these sites, they can see all your information once you are their friend. And as of June 27, 2009, a study was done by, investigation was done by Carrie Skinner of PCWorld.com, and a third of social networkers have at least 3 pieces of information displayed that lead to identity theft. Identity theft can be gained from a variety of information, being names, your name, your parents' name, your mom's maiden name, kid's name, pet's name, and other things like addresses, birth dates, hometowns, high schools, any information that's really personal. And from Facebook.com itself, they are proud to have 550,000 active applications, being games and questionnaire things that every time you go into, it allows them to look at your information and use that information also. And you don't walk around displaying your personal information to everyone, like where your hometown is and what high school you went to, so I don't see why these websites should do it for you. My next and third claim is that these sites are also a threat to safety. In the past 2 years, 90,000 sex offenders have been removed from MySpace. In 2006, in Long Beach, California, Dateline and NBC's To Catch a Predator caught 38 men, and that was just in Long Beach alone. People on social networking sites may not be who they seem to be. They could be, for example, the sex offender that wants to talk to your 13-year-old sister and offer some weird things. Or they could be scamming you for money or for information, or they could send you viruses so they could see all the information on your computer. And So my main claim again is that social networking sites create substantial harm to their users.
All right, David, all the structural stuff is really solid. You did a good job citing your claim and laying out the secondary issues, signposting them as you went through the speech. I thought you had a couple of good examples on the first point. It might make more sense to reverse the order of the evidence on that first point. Start with your examples and then go with the statistic about the percentage of people who claim to have been cyberbullied. You do want to show that the cyberbullying is occurring on the social networking sites, and I don't think that you did that as effectively as you could have. That's why I think it might be a good idea to start with the two examples that you have. On the second point, the security issues, if you had some illustrations or some statistics, I like the statistics that you had about the data that's available, and there was one statistic that says a third of people have information on there that could potentially be used for identity theft. So I thought that was pretty solid, but we don't have any actual cases of identity theft that seem to have been tracked down to social networking sites, and so it seems like it's a more esoteric threat as opposed to something more practical. It just felt a little underdeveloped. On the third point, I thought that you started off pretty well. You had a couple of good examples, but then it sort of dissipated and it really felt like abrupt, like you kind of stopped in the middle of the idea. So I thought you had a good start. Your follow-through on the second and the third points was not quite as strong as it could be. Pretty solid delivery of the presentation, though. All right, thank you.